Prediction, 20 seconds.
I think I'm gonna stick with EHOME for this series. Alliance 2-1. I just feel like they're gonna pull something out.
Okay, alright. We're going to head back to our draft panel now. Thank you very much to Gods, Pyrian Flanks, and Charlie, of course. Let's head back to our draft team for game number 2.
Alliances turn to ban.
Hello everybody and welcome back inside Key Arena, and for those of you watching at home, we're about to jump into game number 2 of Alliance versus EHOME. I have back in the flesh, of course, Winter, Black, and Blitz. Gentlemen, welcome back. We actually already have a couple of picks in our draft, so let's take a peek here. We got EHOME picking up the Shadow Demon Mirana combo, and for Alliance, they snag up the Ogre Magi once again. This time, Bulldog gets his Lone Druid in that second pick winner.
Well, I personally thought that the lineup that they had in the first game wasn't really the biggest issue. It was their play, like the execution. They didn't play their lineup to its fullest of potential. So maybe switching up their draft isn't the most important thing for me, for Alliance. It's the play.
Seemed to be the consensus from a lot of people. I mean, Black, do you agree with that? Alliance had a good Alliance style draft. It just, they didn't play it like they usually do.
I actually think they outpicked him quite a bit. Like we spoke about, when Storm has a good game, he should just be able to control the game by himself pretty much. And he had like a fantastic game, but in the end it just didn't work out. They didn't really play around the draw as they should have, and in the end they just lost it because of that.
And Will, you would know more than most as a Storm player. Do you think that that should have been the Storm game to have?
Yeah, definitely. And the thing about whenever you pick a Storm lineup is you have to put your focus around the Storm more than any other hero, because they had 2 greedy cores. You had a Bristleback and a Drow. You have to sacrifice farm at some point. You have to say one of these 2 heroes has to create space. You can't have a good game on all 3 heroes. That's the biggest thing. Somebody has to just say, okay, I'll be the one going around with one of the supports on the Bristleback. Let's make space. But they simply just didn't do that. It felt like they convoluted things for themselves. They were like, oh, we're farming well on 3 heroes, but you can't keep that pace because EHOME, they had 5 fighting heroes at all times. They were going to press the pace at some point, and the Storm never hit that fabled, the 3-item timing. That Storm's really like, you pick up the Orchid, you pick up the Bloodstone, you pick up a 3rd item that's usually quite defensive, then you become unkillable with the Orchid. You have kill timings on all the supports on the map, but he never really hit that point.
Yeah, EHOME brought a crazy whirlwind with the Flesh Golem, with the Veil, with the Soul Catcher. It was pretty ridiculous. But let's focus here. Game number 2. Elder Titan has been stacked up. Somehow crept his way all the way through the first phase in his 3rd pick now for EHOME.
The Lone Druid may be more of a timing, like if you pick Lone Druid, you have to play around the Lone Druid more. It's like the last game where they didn't play around the draw, so hopefully this game, when they get the Radiance on the Lone Druid, they need to be able to use the Radiance timing. Like if they wait around and just... EHOME is gonna just pick 5 fighting heroes again. I expect them to have the same type of lineup here. For Alliance, they have to be less greedy this time. They have to have more control on the game with their item pickups, and not just let their items come by and not do anything with it.
And they're pretty versatile too. The Lone Druid, we've recently seen Loda play it on the safe lane, but in the past they've also run Lone Druid solo mid if it was really good for the game, and that could be one of the games because he's actually pretty ungankable against Shadow Demon Mirana. You can just block the arrow with the bear. And
Savage Roar.
Yeah, and they just picked it up right after the Shadow Demon Mirana combo. And I think if there's a good game to put it solo mid, it would be like this game.
I do think ET Mirana, though, deals pretty well with Lone Druid. As a whole, I think you can burst him pretty quickly, especially if Mirana has a decent game. I think the biggest thing, though, about Alliance is, like we talked about in the first game, one of their cores has to play that Sacrificial Lamb. Oftentimes you saw Loda kind of put in that role because the team is a little bit odd. They really like to run this single core, but their true carry is often in the offlane with Bulldog. In that game, they ran 3 core. When you run 3 core, somebody has to kind of bite the bullet and say, I'm not going to take up a lot of the space. And you have to represent who your true carry is in that game. I felt like that game it was Storm. In this game, when you have a hero like Lone Druid, it's going to be the Lone Druid. This is the hero that you want to play around and center your draft around.
But what do you make of the Scarab pick though? They don't really have anything that combos really nicely with it, and it doesn't really hard counter anything yet.
But it's a duo that they like to go all the time, like Ogre plus Scarab. They are very strong early game. That they allow all their 3 cores to farm. They run around and they win all their lanes, despite not having like an actual like Beastmaster role or some combo like a Chronosphere. But it's gonna allow their heroes to farm a lot better because you are very strong in the laning phase.
Yeah. In the last game, I felt like the Keeper of the Light plus Ogre is a little underwhelming as a support duo just because neither of them can really zone out in the off lane. The Skywrath Mage can pretty much do that by himself solo, which enables EGM to roam around, kind of play his own playstyle, because we saw in the group stage what they really like to run with this Ogre is you just give EGM as much freedom as he can and allow him to create space for the rest of the course.
When EGM does have a free game like that, he usually makes sure their mid lane is like completely uncontested, and he just keeps out the enemy mid laner, makes sure 1 or 2 supports have to rotate, because usually 1 support is not enough to hold the Ogre down. It's just way too tanky and deals way too much damage. And maybe they will just try to capitalize on giving S4 a really good game so he can create the space for the team that they really need.
Yeah, but EHOME's lineup is again like very mid-game centric. They have a lot of damage once they get all the levels on their heroes. And it doesn't really what items Alliance have at that point of the game when you have 4 points in the natural order, you're just gonna die to the Sven. So in the early game with the Ogre and Skywrath, they have to do a lot of work this game for Alliance.
Now Alliance's 4th pick here, the Bat Rider. You were talking about a bit with the Lone Druid and what they could do with it. They can do the same with Bat Rider. Options for the offlane and Bulldog or in the mid lane for S4. Does one seem a bit more likely than the other for Alliance?
I think maybe I would expect S4 to play the Bat more this game, since there's... I mean, Lone Druid does still... Maybe they might use it on the safe lane on Loader, but if you put the Bat mid, it's easier for your support to rotate into mid lane again, because you have the sticky napalm plus either the slow from Skywrath or the Ogre slow, so yeah, you have a very high chance of getting a kill in the mid lane, so that might be a possibility for Alliance here.
Yeah, and you probably don't want to switch up things like on the main stage where it really counts for the dropping to the loser bracket game. You probably will just want to put the Bat Rider middle and the Lone Druid offlane. Lone Druid offlane should have like a really good time against Shadow Demon Sven as well. Yeah. Like they can't really kill him. Whenever they want to initiate on him, you can just Savage Rod him out of it, and should be like really
more importantly, their heroes don't deal well with the bear when he's trying to pull the creep wave. As a Lone Druid on offlane, you need to be able to get that creep pull. If you get that creep pull off, you're gonna be able to farm very well.
Yeah, the only thing they have is like a Titan Storm.
Yeah, it's not
gonna
very
do much.
good.
Yeah.
So I expect if the Lone Druid does go to the offlane, he's gonna have a very, very good time, man.
Yeah.
Or Alliance, they're gonna run out with possibly Loader's hero that doesn't require too much farm, because with the Lone Druid offlane, you don't want a safe laner that takes too much space here.
Yeah, we talked about how Lone Druid is going to be the centerpiece of your draft. As soon as you recognize that for Alliance, you structure a game around him. I felt like they just were too slow to realize that with S4's hero in the last game. In this game, there are a lot of options for Alliance. You could see the Slardar that Loda's been known to play as well, because I do think they need a follow-up initiator, and they need a better way to...
Do you like Lifestealer here with the Bat?
I think Lifestealer is okay, especially since you have the vehicle in the Bat Rider, but not 100% sure.
For the last pick here from Alliance, we await possibly the Lifestealer coming out. That had been a formidable pick, but Will, you're talking about how this Lone Druid is the centerpiece for Alliance, but EHOME see that, and with their setup right now, do you think it's possible for them to grab like an offlaner and oppose the Lone Druid? If you think that's what the main piece of Alliance is going to be, should they do something like that?
The problem is Lone Druid has like a magnificent one-on-one, so it's like really hard to...
Oh well, okay.
Oh my god, if PA is safe lane, he's gonna get harassed a lot by Sand
Yeah, he's gonna have a very, very hard time.
It's very hard for him in the laning phase.
But EHOME already had that pick planned for like a long time. They like instantly picked it. They didn't even think about it. They were just like, okay, let's go.
What if you did safe lane Sand King to 1v1 the Lone Druid, and then you aggro try?
Exactly.
Then you force EGM to stay in that bottom lane, and Mirana does kind of okay, not great against Bat Rider, but you can potentially just win 2 lanes.
Well, I think either way, PA is going to have a very rough early game. He's going to have to rely on his supports to make rotations and get him back into the game. Like, he doesn't need too much items in his levels, and he's going to be able to participate early with the Cycling Dagger. So I wouldn't expect PA to get much on the lane, but he might be able to still get some goal when the fights start happening.
Sounds great, gentlemen. With that said, we'll throw it over to the main stage floor right now, where we have Draskell and Rap God, OD Pixel. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you very much indeed, Dakota. Game 2, EHOME versus Alliance, as we're ready to get ourselves pretty much back into the action. I'm OD Pixel, I'm joined by Draskell. We've just seen the drafts. Andy, I've got to be honest, it looks pretty terrifying for Alliance. You're going up against EHOME, who've got the Sand King, the Mirana, the Shadow Demon again, and then there's this certain hero that kind of makes this combo even better, and it's an Elder Titan.
Yeah, it's for me, it's going to be a rough game for Alliance. I think that EHOME have all the tools that they need to be able to take down like heroes like PA. If you look at the way that MVP like to play it, they often pick it when there's not a lot of hard disable and there's not a lot of magical burst damage. But in this game on the side of EHOME, they kind of have both. So the Starstorm from the Mirana, obviously Arrow, Epicenter, Burrow Strike, you know, even Sven Stun. there's a tremendous amount of lockdown and no save. So in order to play PA in this game effectively, you have to be very careful about how you choose fights. And not only that, but as the panel mentioned, it's going to be very difficult for Loda to find an easy lane to be in. Against any melee, Sand King's going to be great. He's going to be Caustic Finale skilled. You know, if they want to try to go aggro to dodge the lane of the Sand King and just try to pressure the Sven directly, they can also choose that path. It looks like where everyone is right now, it'd be likely that the Alliance decide to do that. But in the grand scheme of things, the pick can still work. And they're not really going to be able to kill the PA if she gets like a decent item progression and BKB comes out at a decent timing. It's just, can Alliance get that early game? Can they get the advantage they want?
Absolutely. I mean, as you said, if EHOME do get ahead of Loda before he gets the BKB, I mean, you look at Alliance's draft in terms of saves for a core, there's not a lot. I guess obviously Savage Roar from the Lone Druid can help them out in some of the fights, you know, getting EHOME away from Loda. But indeed, this is quite a test for Alliance. We saw that they did have some strengths at the beginning of Game 1. They're certainly going to need to step it up here in Game 2. I mean, overall, talking about Alliance's draft, do you like the way that they changed it up, coming in with something pretty different to what they did in Game 1?
I mean, I don't really think that their plan was the problem. I think that they just needed to push a little bit earlier and maybe itemize differently on the Bristleback. But outside of that, I thought it was an okay draft, if not a good draft. But this one is a little bit, I think, harder to run personally against what EHOME have. But it's not to say that it can't work. They just need to make sure that the laning phase goes swimmingly. And the way that they've kind of put them together right now, doing a lane mid, I like this. It means that Old Chicken is going to not really have the greatest of times, but he did kind of anticipate that he was going to be laning against the PA because he started with the magic stick. So even if there's daggers being thrown out for harass, he should be okay. I don't really see him dying.
But overall, in terms of lane matchups, like a game when you like the way that Alliance have managed to find the lane combinations, or are EHOME a little stronger this time?
They should be fine, honestly, in both of these lanes. If everything remains static, I think mid and top will both be okay. But yeah, I don't really see EHOME being able to get a kill on this top lane at all, because it's a Shadow Demon and your Sven's most likely going to only have level 1s for a while. You just expect Ice to level that Great Cleave, so I see pretty much no kill potential there. Alliance, on the other hand, they are going to be rotating up Ake.
You can make a bit of a go onto Fenrir, looking towards the Shadow Demon. Yet to skill now, skills the Disruption, holding back one of them, but Ake looking at pop through, and he's going to get himself first blood. Ake with a top-notch rotation up towards the top lane. Indeed, looking to punish EHOME's weakness in this early laning stage that they have there. As you said, already going to be a hard lane for the SD and Sven to get stuff done in the early levels. And Alliance, they're able to make the most of that. Bottom lane though, Old 11 going in rather deep onto Bulldog. Old Lanham coming in as well, and Bulldog is going to be in trouble. Spirit into the stomp, one more touch from the Sand King. And EHOME look to punish Alliance elsewhere across the map. S4's come down, going to look to start to stack up the napalm on Old 11, and Old 11 he's not got any points of course at this stage in Sandstorm. The S4 with a good TP to make something off the back of Bulldog's death and getting himself a tasty bit of gold in the bank already. 2 minutes in, he's sitting on 900 gold.
Yeah, really nice movement. And the nice thing too is, even if S4 stays down here, Bulldog can just stay in the top lane now with EGM. And a Lone Druid plus Ogre lane is going to be an absolute nightmare for EHOME. Like, there is zero kill potential on this lane. An Ogre with that much armor and health and a Lone Druid on top of that. Interestingly enough, Bulldog actually doesn't have his bear for about a minute.
Hang on, is this Elder Time going for the courier? He just
has
come down
a
with a
haste,
haste
got a
read,
haste.
yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh,
He got it.
Going deep, he just get it. Oh, and he makes it out as well. Old Lanham, what a play. He's just taken away someone's boots as well with that one.
Spoil that shot.
Hey, Old Chicken. He needs to... Oh, he's got stick charges. He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, Loda doesn't have Blink Strike yet. He's only level 3, so... If he has it, maybe he goes for the kill, but just playing it a little bit safer and obviously dealing quite a bit of harass to the Mirana during this stage. But Alliance, again, you know, their laning phase isn't going too shabby for them. Bulldog was suffering a bit.
S4's in trouble. Old 11. Oh, he hasn't quite got the mana for another Burrow Strike. He will in a few seconds. He may not even need it, but S4 playing around with this one. 2 mana off Burrow Strike. Yeah, Old 11's just going to have to use it to get out. Very fortunate there for S4 that Burrow Strike wasn't available. Otherwise, that Barret would have been dead.
For now, you're just really concerned about getting farm on these heroes on the side of Alliance. EHOME, they've once again picked a lineup that has good kill potential at pretty much every stage if they have enough heroes around. The only one who's not really offering a bunch is the Sven, because low-level Stormhammer just doesn't really do that much. So Loda gonna dodge the stomp here.
Hold on to time being. Looking to just harass Old Lanham back. BD on Loda as well, so if he gets a chance to make a jump in, I'm gonna go for it.
That is
Moment
ours.
just harassing old chicken back. CS-wise, as we can indeed see, because of the presence of Ake, it's been going very well for Loader in the mid lane. 21 for 7, top of the CS at the moment, and well ahead of the Mirana. The mid lane going very nicely. We've obviously seen old Lanham started to look to put a bit more pressure on the mid, put the presence the other time, but moving in on old chicken and Alliance, continuing to make the mid lane go even nicer for them. A kill as well for the two of them. This mid lane matchup is certainly hurting EHOME hard.
The DD Ruin plus the Ancient Seal
Radiant's
combination is
bottom
crazy.
tower
The
is under
problem that
attack.
EHOME are having right now is their support, Shadow Demon, can't really do that much for the team. Like, if he rotates mid, sure, he'll be able to save situations like that. Maybe Old Chicken doesn't die, but then your Sven is almost guaranteed to be getting nothing out of the laning.
Oh, and here comes Old Chicken, missing the arrow, uncharacteristically as well. We saw how well in game one EHOME were able to hit combos time and time again, but a little bit slow off the mark there. Loader, he gets away with his life intact because of that blunder.
A very uncommon misplay, but sometimes stuff like that happens. Loda will be happy for it, I'm sure. I guess the biggest story right now is the fact that the Sand King is getting so much. If you look at the net worth, he's actually leading right now, even though his CS isn't at the top of the board. If he gets an earlier blink timing than he did in game 1, I mean, we saw how effective he can be on the Sand King before, old 11.
Old 11 Sand King is...
And I think the only reason they didn't ban it is because of the Nyx. They had to last ban Nyx instead because they picked Batrider.
It's a nice stack here. We'll see who's able to get their hands on it. Looks like S4 might actually clear most of it with the fair few napalm stacks, and he will get the lion's share of it. 11 and Old Lanham coming across. Maybe seeing if they can catch S4 out. I want to play this, Old 11. Vision from Old Lanham Spirit now jumping in, hitting the epicenter as well. The fire blast comes through, but it's already been casted. The damage, too much for S4. Chicken makes his presence known as well. And will get that Batrider kill.
Stun from EGM, which is a tiny bit late. Maybe even like half a second sooner, and they potentially could have kept the Batrider alive. Decent rotation though, coming in from EHOME, making use of the epicenter once Old 11 got his levels.
Just when I saw this is happening, just more and more space for Loader in the mid lane. Actually caught out by a decent arrow. Old Chicken, Ake is there to help out. And indeed, Loader will be fine. EHOME bringing in 3 heroes to the mid lane as well. Worth noting as well, this game round, Ice on the Sven, he's having a lot better of a start in the lanes compared to game 1 on the Juggernaut. You know, he's up there at the top, 36 CS. That hasn't had as many issues as he did earlier on in the series.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was due to Fenrir, the babysitting that he was doing for the first couple of waves. You kind of need it. Like, he started off against the Batrider and the Ogre, then he was against the Ogre and the Lone Druid, both lanes. Not really the best for him. But he's managed to make best of a not-so-great situation and maintain a really good level of farm. It was great, because during the mid-game, you know, even if you get a lucky cleave onto a couple of heroes, you don't really have to hit the PA directly. You can just hit, like, the bear or something and kill the PA in that way. Yeah, I think, given the state of the game and having that extra cry armor as well against stuff like PA and Lone Druid is going to be great.
EGM in trouble, 3 heading down. Fenrir Lanham ready to back up Old 11. EGM on the Ogre, maybe tanky, not quite tanky enough to live through the damage that EHOME are doing already with this combination of heroes. And this is something that we can expect to see I think again and again as EHOME make these rotations, ready to use the fantastic synergy that their hero picks have. Bring down Alliance's heroes.
They just have so many disables. It's like, if you get hit by one thing, you're going to get arrowed, you're going to get stomped. Even a Sven stun potentially when Ice sides start coming to fights. It's just... EHOME always build their lineups to be able to fight at any stage. Because that way, you know, if a lineup has a specific power spike timing that you need to worry about, EHOME just fight you before that point. Or they fight you after they have their core items. It's a very flexible type of draft that can do a lot of different things.
And Old Chicken with an invis. Doesn't look like he'll be able to do anything, but just you hand a bit of rat to Loader, immediately acting, forcing Old Chicken to jump back. And at the same time, Alliance is for an Ake, ready to make a move up top. Ice is alone. See how far he comes out at the moment, staying right by the tier 1.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Kept the lane equilibrium very nicely by the tower, so see how far out he comes with this next wave. Come out to bite him back pretty hard. S4 getting in position with the Firefly, and they'll start to close the gap. The lasso can't get it off in time. Ice still managed to hold him back, and Fenrir, presence is made known. As with a disruption, holds back S4. And EHOME making it very hard for Alliance to get the kills that they need.
Blink Dagger now done on the Sand King as well in the meantime, while they were fighting that top little engagement. So, you compare the 15-minute Blink Dagger of game 1 that Old 11 had versus a 9-minute Blink Dagger, I'm assuming he'll have a lot more impact. You can see it here.
GM again, caught out alone. Old Chicken, Old 11. An easy kill for the boys on EHOME. And they may not be done quite yet. Old 11, of course, with that blink, making the move towards the mid lane. Alliance, gotta be careful. There's an epicenter at the ready as well. Okay, hunting the tree lines, waiting for some kind of counter attack. Tries to jump on Old 11. S4 is there as well with the lasso, and that's it. Catch. Old 11 will be taken down. Alliance making sure they don't let EHOME get the better of them once again.
Yeah, not letting the Sand King get anything off there, and obviously not being able to make use of the epicenter with the French Blink Dagger is going to be great for Alliance. But, I mean, during this time, the Ice on the Sven is going to start to get to a point where his farm rate's going to just accelerate more and more. You're going to have to worry about that during the mid game, because Admiral Bulldog still kind of wants Radiance before he fights. And this Sven's just going to be hitting creeps the entire time. They got the Ancient stack going as well. I think Alliance are kind of under pressure here to make something happen.
Mid lane, where they try something, but at the same time, EHOME, Old Chicken, Old Lana, Ice ready. At the same time, top lane, Femre. Just gonna look to set this up. Old 11. This man is just a little bit too damn good on the Sand King. 4.7k net worth, top of the board, making the plays happen. We knew it was gonna get painful when we saw Alliance letting him get his hands on it again, and so far, that certainly seems to be the case. Constantly finding the perfect chances and opportunities to jump in on Alliance.
Yeah, it's definitely been a consistent issue throughout game 1 and game 2. He's going to continue to get even more farm. Like, he takes one of the large cam stacks. He's halfway to his 4 staff already, and it's only been so maintaining around a 500 plus GPM. Getting a really important kill on Bulldog after the Midas was done, and Bulldog doesn't even have a bear for another 50 seconds. Like, that's painful. Being a lone druid in this situation, especially considering the bear is the thing carrying his Midas.
I mean, looking to load up on the PA, definitely the one player at the moment on Alliance that has the most space in the laning stage and has got a decent amount of farms. I'm interested to see what he does build up. Does he need to go for the straight BKB, or do you expect there's still a chance Loader may go for something else first?
What we've been seeing a lot is the Deso Rush and then into BKB, just so you get that bonus damage, and you have to pick your fights very carefully.
Oh, no! EHOME jumping in, taking the invis in front of him as they murder him.
Oh, God.
Picks like this, it's why EHOME are seen to be an absolute beast of a team, this TI. Any slight mispositioning from a player and they immediately make the jump. They're always there, ready to pounce. Now, Bulldog himself has to be a little bit careful. You can see EHOME just hungry for action, just cutting their way behind this tier 1. At the same time, they're sending Old Lanham up. There's 4 heroes coming up to Bulldog. He's got a TP. I mean, if he senses something, he'll head to the sideline of TP, but he's in trouble.
Epicenter just came up.
He's heading back. Let's see. Get the vision with the spirit. Old 11 indeed. Looks like he is going to be he's going to be fine this time.
Actually surprised they didn't go for that. Maybe because he... Oh, lasso.
Absolutely, and straight into the Scarf Mage. Nice pick from Alliance. Actually going to be the ones this time to outwit EHOME. Exactly what Alliance need.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Make sure that EHOME waste their time and Alliance make the most of their own.
Radiant's top tower has
And
been
also Bulldog
denied.
able to get the deny on the tower, so potential huge disaster averted on the top lane. Alliance still holding in strong. And is this, I mean, at this point, is this exactly what Alliance needs to do? They just need to hold their own. Let the Bulldog Lone Druid get the space that he needs to get that Radiance timing, as the draft was saying, and kind of just play around this Lone Druid pick.
I mean, you really want the Radiance before you start taking fights, there's no doubt about that. But it just depends on how long it takes versus, you know, EHOME continually applying pressure. You look at the first game, Alliance decided to farm, and they eventually get picked apart by the Sand King, the Shadow Demon Mirana. Well, EHOME have that same lineup pretty much, or at least the 3 heroes. So if you keep playing a split-up game, there's an equal opportunity that you're going to continually get picked off again. It's just a matter of if Alliance can dodge those pickoffs long enough to get those core items up.
Well, DB Rune in the bottle has picked up the first for Hammer. Indeed, if it is going to be the Deso build or the BKB, we'll see how it goes. Looking up top, EHOME trying to take down Alfredo. He should be able to do it. Find the bear of Outlaw Bulldog. Does have a resummon immediately, of course, gets it straight back out. Mid lane, as we can see, EGM and Ake ready in case EHOME jump in onto either Load or S4, but it's not going to be the case. Now they themselves go for a play. At the same time, Ice picking up himself a very hefty Ancient stack. Alliance, they're going to come too late for the Ancient, but they maybe have to punish him whilst he's low. And indeed, S4 jumps in, Ice down the silence. The ball's got Fenrir as well. Loader gets the double kill. And a perfect bit of play there to give Alliance the boost that they need.
Really good read from Alliance, knowing that that stack was going down. Oh, they had the ward, okay.
Yeah,
so yeah.
It's good warding as well.
They saw the stack being taken down. Nice little smoke maneuver there. They get a bonus kill as well. Fenrir trying to go in to save. Looks like EHOME aren't going to take that one on the chin, though.
Absolutely. They don't even feel that they need to wait for Fenrir and Ice. They know between these three heroes, they can do an insane amount of damage. Epicenter at the ready. Let's see what the jump is like. Old 11 finds Loader. Going immediately for the Epicenter follow up as well. Loader in a lot of trouble. The arrow hits as well. They found the PA. EGM going for the TPR. They got anything to cancel. Yes, they do. The stomp from Lanham's there. And Alliance, quick as they find 2 kills, will be quick to give away 2 of their own. Old 11 finds the double. This game certainly shaping up to be a bit of a bloodbath. Back and forth action. Still, as we can see, it's the Sand King that sits at the top as the king. And Aghanim's, of course, going to be coming at a very, very respectable timing as well. See, during all of this, top lane, Bulldog did get a bit of space for the lone druid. EHOME keep the pressure on. Ice has got the Echo Saber done as well, so I think himself, when he turns out to the fights, will be able to do that bit more. It's 500 gold away from Old 11's Aghanim, so.
I mean, I guess for Alliance right now, it really is about the lone druid, but Bulldog's sitting on 3,000 gold, so he's getting closer and closer to that relic. Once the Radiance is out, I would really like to see Alliance try to group up and do something. Luna is also going for the Rush Deso build that we saw QO doing on the side of MVP when they were playing the Phantom Assassin. And it's a really strong build because if you get a lucky crit or you dagger and then you go in and you get a crit on an auto or something like that, you can blow somebody up pretty fast. It's a solid build, but it also relies very heavily on being able to get kills after the Deso is done, so that way you can quickly get your BKB.
Mid lane, actually Alliance looking to jump in onto Old Lanham again. KNS4, the combo working out. Themselves another pick.
Alliance really haven't been able to make much of their picks do anything though. Bulldog's playing a very safe farming game, and he's the one hero that you're looking at to say, okay, let's hit some limits, but he hasn't really been doing that, just trying to get to the Radiance as fast as he can.
See the 3 members of EHOME, they really trying to find something to get the setup. Onto Loader, Epicenter as well. They need to follow through stuff potentially. Loader jumps across and away, but Fenrir with the Ice turning up as well. Takes down Loader, S4 in trouble. Flame breaks Ice away from him, trying to hide in the trees. S4 gets the blink off. S4 pulling EHOME away from the objective. And they actually finish off the kill EHOME. They're chasing him. They're going to have vision on him now. Old 11 gets the burrow strike off. They will clean up the bat. EHOME running so much at this point. Coming out on top and consistently pulling off the plays. Top on Lanham. She's just going to drop the ult. The CP's coming through, but they can kill Bulldog. EHOME! Absolutely perfect. And that was before he'd spent his relic gold. He's still got enough for the relic, but he lost a clean 400 off the back of that Bulldog.
That was a nasty combination right there. Stomp and the Earth Splitter arrow.
Fenrir may have been left alone. There's not going to be a lot of save from him. You do see Ice coming across. Maybe he can look for the counterplay. Ice, does he want to jump in now? He realizes Fenrir is gone. Going to back up. He's not going to try and help him out there.
Yeah, he's not going for the blink ult either, which I think is a little bit interesting. We'll get a chance to watch
Look at this combo
again, yeah. I mean, the Earth Splitter guarantees the bear's going to die, so Bulldog takes a lot of extra damage. Arrow comes out, hits him. Actually, I think it hit him before the Earth Splitter actually did damage, so. Yeah, the Star Storm on top of that just way too much, even for the tanky lone druid to deal with.
Roshan is do you expect to see one of the teams try for Roche at this stage? Is it key to the way that EHOME want to play? Can Alliance sneak it from underneath them?
I mean, Alliance can do a very safe Roshan and a pretty fast one, but in regards to sneaking it from EHOME, I don't think that's a thing. And plus, you have to worry about like Blink Epicenter in the pit. They have an Elder Titan and Moonlight Shadow. So getting yourself into a position where you feel safe going for Roshan against EHOME is going to be pretty difficult for Alliance at the moment. I mean, all things considered, they're still getting pretty decent farm in their cores. Like the PA, the Lone Druid, the Bat Rider, they all have a good amount at this point. They're still waiting for those big key items. You know, we just saw the completion of the Desolator on Dota not too long ago. And we also saw that, you know, Bulldog is only about 1,000 gold away from his Radiance at this point. The question is, are those items going to be enough?
EHOME moving as a pack now, the full 5-man. At the same time, Alliance, they're together as well. Kin has found himself a double damage ready for this next fight, and indeed with the Moonlight, EHOME certainly looking to get something done around the mid lane. They get the jumping in indeed, they found EGM first. Oh, the arrow again.
That was
Domination from EHOME, bringing down members of Alliance. Loader. I mean, dabble around with the dagger. S4. Maybe seeing if you can get a jump, but at this stage, it's jumping into 5. It's a bit of a death sentence, so Alliance just back off. They're still going to be careful, though. We've seen how far Old 11's willing to initiate from, and he may even initiate into the base.
Dyer's tower is under attack.
Presence there. They'll get the vision with the arrow. Just creating space for Ice to take down the tier 2. Again, these arrows hitting from a mile off. Loader held back. EGM back up in a couple of seconds, but already the damage being done to this tier 2. He's still just 200 gold away from that Radiance. They really need it on Bulldog's there.
That disruption.
If they can do this though, indeed it may play against them, yes, with the ult down onto Ice, the Ferret. With a bit of a blunder, and it cost them Ice's life.
I think maybe EHOME were assuming that Alliance were going to try to fight them.
They may still, but again, another. What's happened to EHOME? A couple of mistakes. Alliance going to be very happy with that one, not losing anyone, getting a kill. Now the Radiance is done. EHOME, make sure that they don't start to fall apart at this stage. It's certainly have created the dominance at the start. The Alliance, they're not a team to allow another one to walk over them. They punish EHOME hard there. Loader, continuing to try and find the space as he can. He's only 1k behind Dice spent. On top of the Deso now, do you imagine we'll definitely see him going for the BKB, or is it going to be a full-out aggressive build from the PA?
I mean, some people like to go Vlad's and then BKB, but I honestly feel like without Magic Immunity in fights, he's just going to explode. Like, I think BKB is mandatory at this point, if you want to fight.
Happy. Coming in, Old 11 looking to jump in mid. Caught out Bulldog for Bulldog, safe for the time being. And again, EHOME using their tools, but not finding the initial pickoff. I'm going to stick around for the long haul, looking for EGM with the Demonic Purge, jumping gems down, but at the same time, they've lost the Sand King. And another trade that Alliance are going to be very happy with. And EHOME just not hitting the exact combos that they need to in these fights. And so they don't get anything more. They're still sticking around, jumping forward. Bulldog could be one to fall as well, but a savage roar puts the back memory. Looking to hold him in place with his strike, but Ice. The ultimate rips him to bits! Alliance chasing down from all the stop from all enemies there. They're looking for the turn. And with the ult, they're throwing in the Starstorm, bursting them down quickly. EHOME recovering control of this fight. Ferret may just tick down, and he will. But Alliance, they are bringing down members of EHOME with them. That's for sure.
It's a very scrappy engagement from both teams, just taking a disjointed fight, losing the Sand King on the top of the hill. Wasn't really able to accomplish a whole lot inside of the fight itself. Alliance gonna be okay. Like they did lose, I guess, the Lone Druid and the PA. So ultimately, I think that EHOME are probably fine with it because they traded Sand King, Fenrir, and then Ice for that. It's okay still. Especially considering the fact that they're the ones who maintain the map control.
Catch on 11, and indeed, as soon as that comes off cooldown, Estor immediately jumping in. Morticon just outside the ult. Actually, I'll walk back into that for you. An old 11 caught out by Alliance. Immediate pings on the ward, as EHOME won't fall for that trap again. But Alliance composing themselves very nicely with their back pushed against the wall as EHOME had started to do so with their team fight and just combos that they were hitting.
He was kind of on his own on Alliance's side of the map. You kind of have to expect at some point that if you just get forced back and the rest of your team is still respawning, you're not really going to have any backup.
Alliance, ours 4 men to take the tier 1 from top. EHOME around towards the bottom. Just S4 defending at the moment. Bulldog takes the tower, and already we can see, you know, with the Midas, with the Radiance, Bulldog starting to get into position in terms of net worth, into the position that he needs to be. Nearly on the same level as Ice, and this progression, he's soon to be above it.
We talked about the importance of the Radiance timing against EHOME's lineup in Epicenter.
11, jumping on EGM. TP's coming through from EHOME. Alliance, they're still around here. Looks like they may just sack EGM. Let him go, but EGM, he's going to make this hard for EHOME. Moonlight pops as well. Oh, he's going for the TP. Is he going to make it? It's a sweet attempt from EGM. EHOME, of course, not going to let that happen. The rest of Alliance get themselves away.
Those moves are actually okay. Like, Saka gonna solo die to Fenrir here?
Purge has been dropped down. We're gonna follow in. The poison stacking up won't be quite enough. An arrow though. Good, he's back. And Debo looks a bit loaded. With the Mithril Hammer picks up, looking to get that BKB done, so he's in a bit better of a fighting shape. Ready to jump in against EHOME. That's complete.
If he gets BKB, he can just jump on Fenrir right away. He can force a defensive disruption. He can do the same thing to Lanham, but Lanham has a force staff, so it'll be a bit more tricky, I think, for him to stick on target. It's just gonna basically mean that during fights, until Magic Community is down, you more or less can't kill him. The only physical damage on the side of EHOME is the Sven, and making sure that you're hitting something else and not the PA just to ensure that you can cleave is fairly difficult. So it's still going to be a while before Ice builds anything like MKB if he wants to really go for that hard counter against the Phantom Assassin.
That's 4 BKB done, so his jump in is going to be a little bit easier for him to pull off. We've already seen him make the big lassos, punishing anyone on the side of EHOME. Does come out alone. Game 2 certainly looking a lot better for Alliance in comparison to the way Game 1 was going at this stage. More of a hope. EHOME looking, he's around with the Roshan, not really fully committing. And Alliance, they're smoked up and making a move over. BKB done on Loader, so a bit of a power spike for the side of Alliance that's allow them to go head-to-head with EHOME in team fights. See how they're able to utilize it.
These items, I think, obviously you want to bring detection, but testing Roche would be such a nice thing. Fresh 10-second BKB on 2 heroes would be like one of the best times to fight EHOME. Assuming they don't get caught first.
Yeah, if Alliance lose one member at the start, it could be pretty painful, especially with S4, but he gets the BKB offloader, jumping it onto our left with a defensive disruption from Fenrir, but can't finish off the kill. Now looks towards Fenrir himself, but the Elder Titan catching him out, slowing him down. Loader can't finish off the kill. EHOME surrounded, take him down. Loader's out, and Alliance, they may just lose more. AK dropping the Mystic Flare, but it's not going to get the kill. Chicken with a double kill. Ice pulling very low, but Bulldog down. EHOME with a third, and maybe more as old 11, shifting forward to S4. EGM's caught out of the tree line. EHOME find a fourth, and S4, the only one to get out by looks of it, but he may not even do that as old 11. Still has a burrow strike. It looks like he's going to blink back. But not the fight that Alliance were looking for, and in fact, they may just lose S4. Old Chicken jumping across. I was going to come through, but of course, not going to reach S4 as he will TP back to base. But what a painful engagement for Alliance, where EHOME played it perfectly, and Fenrir just kiting Loader up so much that the PA just couldn't get the kill under the duration of that BKB.
Yeah, we'll get to see the opening here. Fortunately for S4, he's able to pop the BKB before the arrow hits. But there's one thing that goes really well for Alliance is they pull the Sven out of the fight. Like, S4 blinks back in, but this whole time, like, Loda's trying to just catch anybody that he can, but the problem is he's getting kited around the trees way too much, and he's walking away from the vision. So by the time his BKBs, like, it wore off, but there was no way that they could see the rest of the.
And they nearly kill Ice.
Yeah, they almost kill him, but the reality is he was trying to fight when he had no vision there. So.
Fenrir's plays, indeed, game 2 with these disruptions each and every time there to save a member. Team.
It's a really bad sign when you have 2 10-second BKBs against the kind of lineup that EHOME are running, and then you still lose the fight. That is really, really bad news.
And suddenly, as we can see, top 3 net worth all over on the side of EHOME. I need to look very, very scary for Alliance, similar to the position that they were forced into in game 1. And how do they get around that? Is it just the fact that EHOME got the jump? To Alliance, they need to find the jumping onto the backliners. They need to take the Shadow Demon out of the fight for a start.
Yeah, you really want to have vision around the area that you're fighting if you're going to be playing against EHOME. I think that's one of the important things. And honestly, S4 couldn't even see, or couldn't see the heroes that are coming in, obviously, and they pop Moonlight, and they can't see most of the other heroes because there were no sentries down on the far right-hand side where Loda was. So he either needs to carry Dust, or he needs to make sure that the rest of the team is fighting around him. Otherwise, he'll just get kited again.
Alright, so it's into the pit. Alliance. Well, moving over with the pings, but EHOME getting a position on the high ground, ready to fight, and all this could be paid for Alliance. Jumping in, oh my god! Oh, they're already dead! 2 gone immediately on Alliance. And it may even be more again. Loda just goes for the BKB TP out. He's gonna make it. Ake, on the other hand, certainly isn't. EHOME finding everything, and even Bulldog caught out, brought down. This game proving to be even more brutal for Alliance than game 1, Andy.
Man, they are just relentless, EHOME. Like these Sand-King initiations. Alright, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. That's fine now.
Oh man. As people have said, EHOME looking to be just playing like championship winners. And this series has been no exception. Alliance knew that they were going to have a tough one coming into this matchup. Did they know it was going to be as tough as this? Probably, after seeing EHOME's performance at the group stage. But here we have game 2, EHOME looking to do serious amounts of damage to Alliance's base. Mid's been cleaned up, they're looking towards the bottom. Maybe Alliance can have one more final stance, and indeed they'll attempt it. S4 jumps in onto side, bringing him back, but already they're falling so low. Ake's gone, S4. He's trying to get himself back as well under the cover of BKB. EHOME head back to hitting the tower. A bit of mercy as they back up now. Alliance, can they punish this at all? CGM trying to get some sort of latch out. S4 does not have the lasso for this defense. But EHOME, they're happy with the damage done. They back out. And Alliance, they certainly are a team that in the past have been able to bring back some very impressive games. This has got to be one of them if they need to hold in, because they are falling so far behind at this stage.
2 fights in a row, they just get completely massacred by EHOME. And like BKBs aren't even making much of a difference. When the initiation is so good that you die before you can pop your magic in the item, yeah, the fall off is fairly significant here for Alliance. They were at one point on even terms with the cores of EHOME. That is not the case anymore. I mean, they've only killed 1 tower in a 32-minute game with a lone druid. It just goes to show how much pressure EHOME has been able to apply out on the map. And, you know, Alliance are feeling it for sure. They're already down that 1 set of racks, and the more I think about this is we're going to see another bear death. That's bear death like number 3 or 4. But Mirana is just so good against PA, because when you have Moonlight Shadow up, PA's specialty is chasing heroes. But if you have Moonlight Shadow and you don't have anyone around you with Dust or sentries, the PA is pretty useless, because even if you have great mobility, it doesn't matter if you can't freaking see anything. So for me, I feel like you're playing against Mirana, it's just mandatory that the PA herself has to carry detection, because the supports are not always going to be in a position to drop it for you.
EHOME into the Roche pit. I'm pretty sure after the last experience Alliance, I'm going to look to head over there and fight around this area of the map. So EHOME granted the Aegis for themselves. And we have it straight onto Old Chicken, and as you said, Old Chicken's Mirana performance has been absolutely brilliant, and the way that he's dealt with the way that Alliance jump in. You know, we've seen S4 comes in, grabs a hero, brings him away from the team, but immediately Old Chicken just jumps back in, and 11% going in immediately onto Bulldog. He's dead already. 60 seconds out, just like that. EHOME.
With such a crisp movement, they like killed Roshan and just immediately cut towards middle lane because they know that it's pushed in and that somebody is going to have to address it. Just EHOME playing super well right now.
Oh, and they got straight in! Ake's disappeared off the face of the earth. S4 trying to bring back a purple ball of doom. Nice again being saved by Fenrir. I mean, disruption or not, he wasn't dying there for sure. 3 dead on Alliance. Oda pops the BKB, but he doesn't quite know what he can do with it here, as he's just got to get himself back to the fountain. Alliance 30 seconds before they have the final. No, going into the fountain here. Oh, Loda. Oh, he's still probably going to die. Oh, Chick, did he find him? No. He managed to blink back. S4. You have to punish how Chick's positioning there. Alliance. Again. Still holding on to the game, but I mean, even if you can call it that, as EHOME just playing around with them now.
I just want to say, I don't think I've seen many games where someone buys Bloodthorn, but
Bloodthorn's fan.
I mean, if you're in this position and you're against a PA, it's not bad. And also the Radiance burn as well. Helps the rest of your team just be able to hit the hero. I guess considering the BKB is down to about 7 seconds now, it's probably not going to matter what he makes, honestly, just because they have such an advantage at this stage. It would take EHOME, like, going into the base, into the well, I think, for Alliance to win a team fight. Like, that's just how far behind they are right now. They need to, like, lasso somebody and pull them so far away from the rest of EHOME that they can isolate it and just kill it before the rest of them can follow it up.
EHOME ready to get the job done on the final lane. Formulate the push onto the tier 2. And it really is going to be Alliance's last chance to hold up some sort of a defense. Question is, how can Alliance find a jump onto a lineup like this where you essentially got a lineup where all 5 heroes can react and play to save whoever gets gone on. And the D push from Alliance just isn't there as well with their hero selection. The bear! Blown up immediately, and there's no bear for 90 seconds. Old 11, just teasing there, see if we can get a latch. S4, so we can get something here, maybe looking for Old Chick, but Old Chick has got the Linkens and Old Chicken. Kills off EGM. Feels like at this point, all it takes for EHOME is to just A-click the base, and the game can be won. Jump in again, the real Luna! There goes to carry Edward! Gets the lasso off, but it doesn't matter, just dragging EHOME closer to Ake. Ake's down. Going in for even more over there for no chill whatsoever. GG! It would have to be an immensely painful game for Alliance. EHOME! A day in the office for them. Insane play, immaculate play. They just were not messing up today, EHOME. Everything was perfect.
Alliance gave them the heroes they wanted 2 games in a row, I feel. Like, sure, it's hard to ban against EHOME because they pick a lot of stuff, but the Sand King and the Mirana especially, like, those heroes have been seen throughout the group stage, and Old Chicken and Old 11 both. I mean, they played phenomenally throughout the series, and Fenrir's saves, positioning on the map was great. Alliance,